Last time I was on Black Prof, I talked about what I expected to see the November 4th election as far as results. I predicted that Obama would beat McCain like he stole something. What I want to do with this post is I want to talk a little bit about the conservative response. I want to talk a little bit about what the Obama presidency has meant for African Americans symbolically, and then I want to talk a little bit about what the Obama presidency has meant for Americans in general, or what it should mean for Americans in general symbolically. First things first. One of the first things that happened when President Obama was elected was that conservative pundits of a variety of different stripes started to promote the idea that America was a center-right country, and that in order for Obama to be effective, he shouldn't move too far to the left, and he shouldn't enact policies that were too progressive for Americans. Now, I actually understand this, but I believe that what they're actually trying to do is project a reality through ideas that doesn't really fit empirically, or doesn't really bear out empirically. What do I mean? They are right to a certain extent to say that Americans are center-right when they talk about social issues. Unfortunately, the best example of this is Proposition 8, which was just passed in California, and this effectively bans gay marriage. African Americans supported this proposal to the tune of 70% to 30% against. What this shows is that we do have a long way to go, and on this dimension, I think the conservatives have a point. However, when you examine a wide range of public opinion data, what you find is that not only are Americans generally liberal on their policy preferences, or our many policy preferences, they're actually becoming more liberal, particularly in the wake of government disasters such as Katrina and the economic crisis that we're going through now. Americans express strong support for the right to organize unions. They express strong support for the protection of civil rights. They express strong levels of support for the government providing a type of social safety net that can protect people when they fall through the cracks. And they express strong support for government serving as a check on big corporations. I think these and many other pieces of data effectively show that Americans are, if anything, center-left and actually are becoming more liberal. So what this suggests is that President Obama actually has a lot more room to navigate here than conservatives would like us to think he does. Now on to what the Obama presidency means for African Americans. And what I'll do is I'll just talk about myself, because we do have tentative data, but this data is tentative. So I'll just talk about me. Ben Stein, a conservative commentator, was on Larry King Live last week, and talking about the first press conference that Obama held. I believe that Stein was actually there, and one of the things he criticized Obama for was for being late. And I was talking. As soon as I heard about this, I had a really visceral reaction, and my reaction was, you better fall off the president. That's the president of the United States. Now, before Obama was elected, I don't think I had ever uttered that particular sentence, even as a thought in my head. The president was someone that I elected. I cast a vote for. He was just a person who happened to preside. And that's literally what presidents do. They preside. All of the symbolic accoutrements that came with the presidency, I, as an African American, pretty much ignored those, right? But when Obama was elected, like for the first time, I felt that he was actually my president. And I felt, I guess, what most citizens, whites specifically, had taken for granted, right? that they had just taken for granted that the presidency was theirs, or that the president actually represented them, not just legislatively, but not just, but symbolically, right? And this is the first time I've ever felt this way. I mean, you guys can see me on screen. So on my Facebook status, I had a joke, right? I had what I put in my Facebook status: skinny as hell, black, male, intellectual, like the president, right? And it was fun. Even saying it now, it cracks me up and tickles me like to no end. And this is really a new feeling for me. So to that extent, when you see somebody like Jesse Jackson crying on screen, or even somebody like Condoleezza Rice, who expressly supported McCain, when you see her beaming to the point where where it seems like after she gives her press conference, I mean, she's smiling so brightly, it's like she wants to skip off stage. When you see something like that, it's like, okay, I get this. I mean, this is something that's really special and really magical. So to that extent, I mean, what Obama really does represent something very different for many African Americans, if not most, right? But what Obama represents there isn't just about us. This isn't just a magical moment for African Americans. And perhaps the wisest thing anyone said to me so far about Obama's election actually comes from my 8-year-old son. Now this is the son who will actually skip out on breakfast, actually making breakfast for everyone, and then will skip out in order to make sure that everybody else eats, right? This is the son who actually gave me his favorite Halloween candy because he saw that I didn't have any candy of my own. So understand what I'm about to say within that context. This is my most compassionate son, without a doubt. So when I'm talking to him he actually had a mock election. And when I'm talking to him about the mock election, I ask him who he voted for. He says, I voted for Obama. And I said, well, why did you vote for Obama? You know, I had my social science hat on. He said, well, I voted for Obama for 2 reasons. The first reason was that I know that you and mommy supported him. But the second reason was that I think that whites need to see that blacks can do this too. And I really thought about that, right? I thought about that. Recent research out of Harvard, and I'll put the link to the story underneath this post, indicates that whites subconsciously associate American symbols they're more likely to subconsciously associate American symbols with foreign whites such as Elizabeth Hurley and Hugh Grant than they are to associate American symbols with American non-whites such as Connie Chung, Michael Chang, and the African Americans who won the 4x100 in the, not this Olympics, but the past Olympics. Now, this isn't the case with blacks. Blacks are as likely to subconsciously associate American symbols with non-white Americans as they are with white Americans. But with whites, they act psychologically and subconsciously as most of us think that they act. They actually associate Americans with being white. They associate America with whiteness. What the Obama election does is it actually shatters this notion, right? It actually opens their eyes to the fundamental reality that America really does contain multitudes. That America isn't white. America is white, it's black, it's Latino, it's Asian, it's Middle Eastern. That it has a number of different hues, just like it has a number of different religions, a number of different sexualities. So when my son says that whites need to see that blacks can do this too, that's what he's saying. He's not saying that whites need to see this for black people, for our sake. He's saying that whites need to see this for their sake, so their eyes can be open, so their idea of what America can be or what America is actually fits the fundamental empirical reality, right? So the question remains is, does this symbolic move towards expanding what America means translate into policy. And I actually suspect, particularly given McCain's election, given the tactics that he used up until his concession speech, I think this may mean that we're witnessing, or that we've effectively witnessed, the death of the Southern strategy. But time will tell. On that note, this is Lester Spence with blackprof.com and blacksmith.com. Thank you.